So welcome to Big Data Lecture Series. So in the previous session we have seen the typical environments of business intelligence, Hadoop environment and combination of both, and the differences between traditional business intelligence and Hadoop environment, and we have seen the architecture and its working. Now we will see the remaining concepts, like we are going to see the what is business intelligence. Have a look at the today's agenda. In this session we are going to discuss about what is big data analytics, and what is not a big data analytics. That means we will see the basic differences of normal big data analytics and non-big data analytics. Next we will see what is data science and what is big data analytics, and we will see the meaning and characteristics of big data analytics, need of big data analytics in real-time applications, classification of various analytical environments like types of analytics, what are the major challenges that big data analytics has to solve or has to handle, and next what are the important factors of big data analytics in real-time applications, and finally we will see what is the major terminologies are going to be used in big data environment. Now let's see what is a big data. Now, when we are storing a large amount of data of an organization or an enterprise, what is the use of a big data and what is the use of analytics on the data? Now have a look at it. When we are collecting very large amount of data called big data, that data is used to discover unseen patterns or hidden patterns of the data, to identify the unearthed trends of the data, which will play a vital role in real-time applications, and to find out the unknown correlations and other useful informations which are used to take faster and better decisions in real-time applications. That means the big data analytics mostly used to identify uncover patterns, unearthed trends, and to identify unknown correlations. Using all the above mentioned, we are using the data for faster and better decision making of the organization. So this is the mostly useful in usage of big data analytics in real-time applications. Next we will see what is big data analytics. Just have a look on this diagram. This diagram will reveal the complete information about what is a big data and what is big data analytics. Now we are using big data to extract richer and deeper insights of the data. Richer data and deeper insights of the data. Here we take the help of a CRM, Customer Relationship Management. In customer relationship management, whenever you want to see the information about detailed information about the customers, and if you want to study the behavioral pattern of the customer, purchase pattern of the customer, here we have to look into the insights of the customer. So this is the first aspect here. So when we are dealing about a customer relationship management, we want to find out the complete information about a customer. And now what is the use of identifying information about the customer? This directly indicates we want to improve the business. So that means richer, deeper insights into the customers are going to be analyzed and extracted using big data analytics. Now we'll see what is the advantage of if we extract the information from a customer database. Let us have a look. The company want to give a discount to set of customers based on their purchase history. They don't want to give the discount, a special discount. Don't say normal discount, then let us say it is a special discount. The company want to give a special discount to specific or designated customers. Now, to apply this discount only to a specific set of people, they have to initially know who are those customers. So that means they have to look into their purchase pattern or purchase history or their behavioral information. So to look into the behavioral and purchasing pattern of the customer, normal processing tools are unable to get the results. So this is the first aspect, extracting richer, deeper insights of the data. Next one, to have a competition with the other competitors in the environment or in the market, the company has to strengthen. That means if the company want to strengthen its business and they want to retain their customers or they want to increase their business profits, they have to take the help of these type of business data analytical tools. That means to survive in the market, to sustain in the market, to have a healthy competition with the competitors in the market, we can take the help of big data analytics to know about the company, to extract the information about the company, which is going to be used for decision making. The next one, now we are using big data in our environment. That means, let us say there is a company called XYZ, which is related to a product manufacturing company. When they want to use big data analytics, what are the suitable tools or softwares for their environment? They have to use those tools only. That means big data is only a concept, but to extract the knowledge or to do the analytical activities, the big data is enabled with some analytical tools. The commonly used tools are SAS, R, WPS, Vika. There are other tools are there which are going to be used for analytical activities. And another advantage of using big business analytics or big data analytics in real-time applications, here we can take time-sensitive decisions in real-time data processing. That means they want to take the decisions based on the current history of the data, current trends of the data. That means within no time they want to take some dynamic decisions. Like, let us take a weather forecasting system. The weather forecasting department has given information to the government that in coming 7 to 10 days there will be a heavy rainfall or there may be a chance of having some floods. That means in prior they have predicted, the predicted results have been given to the government. That means within 7 days or 10 days the government has to take the necessary precautions and steps to handle the heavy rainfall and floods. So if you don't have any prior information, the destruction can be more. It can be a manual destruction or any assets destruction due to heavy rainfall or floods. So this is called time-sensitive decisions and based on the real-time processing. We will take one more example in this aspect. Let us take the company XYZ. There is a company called XYZ. Based on the share value, the CEO of the company or the members of the company, they want to take some decisions. Let us take the company share value is getting down day by day. So they want to take some precautionary steps to stop the share value and they want to increase the company profit. So they have to observe each and every minute to minute update of their share value. They have to identify what is the reason for falling of the share price and they have to take the necessary precaution steps to stop the company's share value. So this is also one of the best example for time sensitive and decision making. And one more, using big data, we can have a collaboration with business users and data scientists. That means when we want to extract the insights of the customers, it is not that much easier that a normal employee can extract insights of a customer. That means here we require the help of data scientists. That means the persons who are expertise in that domain are going to be used. That is, data specialists or data scientists are going to be used. These are the expert people. These people are going to be used as a part of the decision making or as a part of the employee in a company. And now, using big data or big data related tools, the voluminous data of the company, that means the high volume of the data, varieties of data, and processing of the data can also be handled very effectively. That means the organization may be composed of various types of data elements like structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. And size of the data may be in larger scale or huge amount of data they are collecting and they are storing in their organization, and they want to process the data in less time or in an effective manner. So to handle all the voluminous data, variety of data, and velocity of the data, they can take the help of big data analytics. Now these are the various dimensions of the data. That means whenever we are having a valid data, how the data is going to be used in all the dimensions. Next we will see, using big data analytics, what we can do, we can take better and faster decisions in real time applications. We can take better decisions and faster decisions, data speed and efficiency. So these are the various aspects we can say what is a big data analytics. So we will discuss in precise manner. Big data analytics, which is used for richer and deeper insights of the data to extract the customer behavior in CRM model, and to have a healthy competition with the competitors or competitor companies, we can take the help of big data, which is going to be used for decision making. And next, big data is embedded with technological aspects like various data mining tools or big data tools are used in big data environment to extract the insights of the data. And one more advantage is to take time sensitive data and to take time sensitive decisions. We can take the help of big data environment in real time applications. We can have a collaboration with the business experts and interface values of the company. When we are working with large amount of data, voluminous amount of data, we can take the help of big data, and we can, if you want to take the better and faster decisions, you can take the help of big data. And finally, we can collect large amount of data with a greater speed and efficiency. So with all these dimensions, we can say that to perform all these activities, we require one common environment, that is called big data analytics. So this diagram will give the complete information about what is big data analytics. Next we will see what is not a big data analytics. Till now we have seen what is big data analytics. Now we will see what is not a big data analytics. Next, have a look at this small diagram. So when we are storing traditional data or RDBMS related data in our organization, we can't call it as a big data, because in RDBMS we are storing and we are collecting only structured data, whereas in big data we can collect either structured data, semi-structured data and unstructured data. Here, big data is not only used only for collecting large amount of data, only used by huge online companies like Google and Amazon. That means if they are using, that means only big data is meant for Google and Amazon is not a true factor. Big data can also be used for smaller organizations and medium range organizations also. Big data is not a replacement of data warehouse, because the role and objective of data warehouse is completely different from big data environment. There is only one common factor, is storage of a large volume of data. But when it comes to operational aspects, data warehousing is completely different from big data environment. Even though there are some common factors like in data warehousing we can perform pre-processing operations, in BDA also we can perform pre-processing operations. And in data warehousing we can apply mining related activities, we can perform analytical operations, whereas in BDA also we can perform analytical operations. So there are some differences. In data warehousing, data is going to be stored in a single server location, whereas in big data environment, we are going to store data in multiple locations, that is distributed environment. And big data is not a replacement of RDBMS, because RDBMS is only meant for to store structured data, that is only in a limited storage levels, whereas in big data we can store all the three categories of data, that is structured, semi-structured and unstructured data can be stored in big data environment. And big data is not a technology, big data is a framework, or I can say big data is a concept. So big data is not a technology, it is not only a technology. Big data, we can call it as it's a collection of various tools called framework. Big data is a concept which is going to be offered to store and to do the analytical activities. And big data is not only meant only for to store voluminous of data. So if you are using only for RDBMS, if you are using only for to store large amount of data, if you are using only for the replacement of data warehouse and RDBMS, we can't say it is a big data. So in the previous slide we have seen what is big data. Now it indicates the limitations. There are some limitations in data warehousing, some limitations in RDBMS, some limitations as a part of volume of the data. These factors will not allow as a part of big data environment. Next we will see few analytical tools which are going to be used in real-time applications. The commonly used tools are MS Excel, SAS, IBM SPSS, R analytical tools, that is R programming and R studio, statistical related operations, word programming systems, that is WPS, and some statistical operations you can perform using Weka. So among these, some of are free open source tools like R programming and Weka are free open source tools which are going to be used for statistical related and analytical activities. Statistical related analytical activities. Second one is second school of thought. The first school of thought of analytics have been classified into and categorized into four categories. They are basic analytics, operational analytics, advanced analytics, and monetized analytics. Now we'll see one by one. In basic analytics, the data which has been stored for analytical activities is going to be applied slicing and dicing operations on the data. That means whatever portion of data that we are using for analytical activities, that selection of the data is done by using slicing and dicing operations of online analytical activities. And in basic analytical activity, we are going to store and we are going to apply analytical activities on historical data, and we can apply some basic visualizations on the data. That means in basic classification or analytical activity, we can apply slicing and dicing of the data, we can perform analytical activities on historical data, and we can apply some basic visualizations of the data. When we move to the second one, that is operational analytics. are operational data analytics. Now, operational analytics, it is purely used for enterprise, business, process related activities. To apply analytics on enterprise data or on the complete data of an enterprise, we can call it as a operational analytics. Third one is advanced analytics. In this advanced analytics, we can perform basic predictive modeling and perspective modeling. Predictive modeling and perspective modeling of data analytical operations. And finally, under monetized analytical operation, we can use direct business revenue. That means after investing some amount on analytical operations, whether we are getting profits from the business analytics or not, or data analytics or not, is going to be considered. So in this first school of thought, they have been classified into four categories: basic category, operational category, advanced category, and monetized category. And when we move to the second school of thought, the analytical activities are classified into three major categories. They are analytics 1.0, 2.0, and analytics 3.0. Now we'll see all the three into with their differences. So analytics 1.0 is came into the picture in the year from 1950s to 2009. This is the initial period of analytics 1.0, whereas analytics 2.0 is came into the picture between 2005 to 2012. And analytics 3.0 is came into the picture in the period 2012 to present. That means whatever analytical tools we are using nowadays, they are called as analytics 3.0 tools. Now we'll see one by one. In analytics 1.0, we are going to apply the descriptive statistical related operations. That means when we want to do analysis on the data, we are generating some report related or reports based on the events which are happened in the past. That means in analytics 1.0, we are collecting the past data, and on the past data we are applying required analytical operations. That means in analytics 1.0, we are applying analytics only on historical data, that is past data. How the statistics are going to be applied? The events which are happened in the past are going to be collected, analyzed, and they generate reports based on the output of the analytics. Whereas in analytics 2.0, addition to descriptive statistical operations, we are going to perform some predictive statistics. That means in analytics 1.0, only description of the event is going to be provided. Whereas in analytics 2.0, in addition to the descriptive statistics, we can also apply some predictive techniques in the form of predictive statistical operations. Now, in this predictive, we will use the data from the past to make predictions for the future. The past data or the historical data is used to predict the future of that related data. Let us take a small example. The company has studied the sales information from 2001 to 2019. They are having complete sales information from 2001 to 2019. From this 19 years information, they want to use and they want to predict the company's sales in the year 2020 to 2021. That means predictive measurements are not available in this analytics 1.0. When we move to analytics 3.0, we are having descriptive statistics, predictive statistics and prescriptive statistics. That means here we are applying three activities like we are applying descriptive statistics, predictive statistics and prescriptive statistics. Now what is a prescriptive statistics? We use the data from the past to prophecies for the future and we are predicting for the future and at the same time we'll make some recommendations based on the situations in order to increase the decision making in a better and efficient manner. We'll see the difference. So in this analytics 2.0, they are collecting the past data from 2001 to 2019. They are using that information to predict the sales information in the year 2020 to 21. Now we will take the same example here. They are having the results of predicted results of 2020 and 21. Let us take some unexpected event came into the picture. Like in a specific month, their target values are their sales target values are very high due to some government decisions or some geographical in events. Their sales are came down. That means whatever they predicted is not going to happen due to some external events. Now at that moment, how they are going to change their decision based on the predicted value, that is called prescriptive statistics. That means taking dynamic decisions based on the current scenario. That is called prescriptive statistics. So in analytics 2.0, we are having only descriptive statistics. In analytics 2.0, we are having descriptive and predictive statistics. In analytics 3.0, we are having descriptive, predictive and prescriptive statistics. Now you will see another difference between all the three types of analytics. Here, when we want to do analysis, we require and we have to ask some questionnaires on the analytical or output of analysis. They are what happened to the data, why did it happen. That means we can ask only some descriptive questions. These are not questions, we can say these are the queries we can apply on the data. Only descriptive related queries only we can apply on the data. But when we move to analytics 2.0, there is a refinement in queries. What will happen? Look at here. They are asking only past data, what happened. Now in this, we can extend our question into the future also. What is going to happen? That is, what will happen? This is question which is related to the future prediction. And why will it happen? It is also related to the future aspect. In first case, it is related to only descriptive. Whereas in this, we can go for a queries which are going to use for predictive nature in future. Whereas analytics 3.0, there is much more refinement in queries which are going to be used at the user level or end users. They are what will happen, when it will happen. It is common to analytics 2.0. And why will it happen? Now look at here, the fourth one. What should be action taken to take the advantage of what will happen? That means what are the dynamic decisions are going to be taken is taken into consideration as a prescriptive statistics. So here this is a basic questionnaire or queries we can ask or we can expect as a result of analytical activities. And another difference is in analytics 2.0 we started using only a legacy system. A large scale data and heterogeneous data storage locations are called as legacy systems. Like we can also use enterprise resource planning, customer relationship management, third party applications as a part of analytics 1.0. But in analytics 2.0, we are calling it as a big data. It is a combination of all, whereas in analytics 3.0, a big data is combined with all the remaining 1.0 applications. Like we can take the third party applications, enterprise resource planning, customer relationship management, and other activities. Now let's see the another difference here. Analytics 1.0 is going to be applied only on small and structured data sources. That means we can only apply analytics on only data if it is in a smaller in size, and it will allow only to perform analytics on structured data. We can call it as the storage location, we can call it as a data warehouse, or we can call it as a data mart. These are the limitations in analytics 1.0. When we move to analytics 2.0, big data is mainly uses unstructured data. That means if you look at the statistics, 80 to 90% of data is in an unstructured manner. That means we are getting data. Whatever data we are getting 80 to 90% of data is in unstructured manner. So analytics 2.0 focuses only on unstructured data, and they use some big data related applications to process this unstructured data. When it comes to analytics 3.0, a big data tools and environment and traditional analytics are going to be combined to see the insights of the data to increase the decision making in more effective manner, like speed and efficiency. This is the another difference between analytics 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0. And another difference is in analytics 2.0, data is going to be stored only in internal sources, whereas in analytics 2.0, data we can store externally. When it comes to 3.0, we can store data internally as well as externally. Now we'll see what is this internal structure. In 1.0, data is located only in a single centralized server which is located within an organization. Whereas in 2.0, we are going to collect data from outside of the world or outside of the environment. Whereas in this 3.0, we can collect the data either from internal of the organization or we can collect data from external to the organization. And another difference is the best example of analytics 2.0 is RDBMS related databases. When it comes to analytics 2.0, we can take data applications like Hadoop, SQL related applications and NoSQL. So Hadoop is one of the tools used in analytics 2.0, SQL related applications, NoSQL and PostgreSQL are the examples here. When it comes to 3.0, we can apply some memory related analytics for data processing in the storage environment. In addition to this, we are applying some machine learning techniques for analytical activities. So these are the major differences between analytics 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0. Now by combining all the three differences, the differences between all the three categories, let's have a look at this graph. So here analytics 1.0 started using only descriptive analysis. In analytics 2.0 or 1.0 onwards, we started using diagnostic analysis. That means here it will give only descriptive summarized information, whereas in this descriptive summarized information we can go for some predictive related applications. After that, we are applying some all predictive related analytical techniques on the data to extract hidden patterns of the data. And finally, we can go for prescriptive analysis of the data. So if you look at here we are looking only hidden insights of the data. Here, hidden insights are going to be extracted and analyzed. Here, what we are doing, we can foresight of that is predicting of the future of the data. predictions of future trends. So this is the imposing or applying of analytical activities from 1.0 to 3.0. Descriptive analysis, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics and perspective analytics. So we will complete this session. So till now we discussed various types of analytical classification of analyticals like analytics 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0. In next session we will see the top challenges of big data.